YouTube link is right now. Right, this is the YouTube link.
ये रिएक्शन कैसे पुट करा?
Hi शिवम।
हाय क्षितिज।
हालचाल।
और कौन कौन है वहाँ पे?
मैं और आयुष, just the two of us for now.
नरेश नहीं पहुंचे अभी तक?
Sorry?
नरेश नहीं पहुंचे अभी तक?
Naresh is joining us from 301, I think. मैं उनसे लिंक शेयर करता हूँ। और can I add somebody to this?
फिर अलग ग्रुप बन जाता है।
अलग ग्रुप बन जाता है? Right. तो उनको भेज दो। रूम आ गया?
हाँ रूम आ गया, डिस्चार्ज हो गया था आज शाम में मैं।
अच्छा, अभी क्या फीवर है?
फीवर नहीं है, बॉडी में पेन है और लाइक बहुत वीकनेस है, बट वहाँ पे खाना अच्छा नहीं था बिल्कुल भी।
अच्छा, तो सिर्फ खाने के लिए आया था?
अरे तो मुझे ऐसे बुलाना पड़ता था ना खाना लेके लोगों को,
ओके।
तो इसलिए मैं फिर रूम आ गया। मैं मेस का खा लेता हूँ खाना।
चिल है। सो थोड़ा वेट करते हैं, कोई ज्वाइन करेगा फिर डेमो स्टार्ट करते हैं। आई थिंक लेट्स वेट टिल 9-10।
कौन कौन करा आज डेमो?
आई थिंक रिस्पॉन्स तो आई थिंक वी गॉट 8 responses on the form, including you and excluding Ayush, but I don't think कोई शो कर रहा है। I don't know. Let's hope कोई आ जाए।
नरेश to join.
Naresh, is Naresh here?
हमारे पास
Hi Naresh. Mute है। Oh shit. Okay. चलो। So we're discussing कि 9-10 तक वेट करते हैं, let people join और उसके बाद में we'll start. Spicing things up while people wait. हाँ, इसमें चैनल को नोटिफिकेशन नहीं करते क्या?
इधर चैनल एक मिनट जाते जाते जाते।
ऐसा? I remember कि एक किसी चैनल में नहीं जाता है। I don't remember which. और ट्राई कर। Here, enter it here. Try कर कुछ। No. White notifications I think.
और कौन कौन आ रहा है? ये कौन? अच्छा, विक्रांत आ गए हमारे पास। क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
यस।
ओके फाइन।
हाँ, लोड मत ले।
हाँ, एंड द मोर नंबर ऑफ पीपल जॉइन कनेक्शन उतना स्लो हो जाएगा हमारा एक दूसरे के साथ।
राइट, सो क्या बोलना चाह रहे थे? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
वो D&D मोड में है।
I think it's midnight by now. Over there.
वो हैदराबाद में है।
He's in Japan right now. चले गए. So I think midnight तो रहता है ना 10 to 8 ऐसा कुछ, इसलिए D&D automatic.
Hey,
Hi हर्ष,
हेलो।
क्या हाल चाल?
बढ़िया।
कहाँ हो आप?
अभी बैंगलोर में, कल पुणे जा रहा हूँ।
पुणे जा रहे हो?
हाँ।
तो नरेश बताया। Congrats.
थैंक्स।
कैसे चल रहा है सर?
बढ़िया। और कौन कौन है अभी? दिस इज हेलो।
Yes, that's all. And Shivam will be demoing from his room.
ओके, लेट्स स्टार्ट।
Right, let's start. So, Shivam,
हाँ, मैं करता हूँ। लाइक एक्चुअली माय प्रोजेक्ट इज प्रीटी स्मॉल, मेरा डेमो भी स्मॉल है, सो लेट मी स्टार्ट। सो आई एम गोइंग टू, ओके, आई विल फर्स्ट शेयर माय स्क्रीन। So I hope this page is visible.
Yes.
So this project is on this day, and this project was suggested by Himanshu. So what this project does is basically it is a Slack application
Okay.
which takes the most trending message of the day from last year, and if a channel is new and it doesn't have messages from last year, it takes the messages from last few months and posts it in the channel that the user defines and at the time defined by the channel administration.
Okay.
So the basic purpose of this, I have named it Mnemosign. So the basic purpose of Mnemosign is that it starts a conversation in the channel. Okay, so there is nothing as in like back end or front end to show in this. There is all code, and I'm right now I have made a web server in Golang
Okay.
for the part in which basically in a Slack application, authentication is done on the backend. Authentication is done using like I should have a server to do the authentication part, and then save a authentication response. So I have completed that part as well as I have completed the backend part of the process. After I get the authentication, I have rest of the backend ready. For the working, like once I have the key, I can post on the channel. Just that I have not combined the front end and the back end yet, so there's nothing to show, but I have integrated the application on COS Slack channel, and I can show you the messages as posts in the channels. Just a second.
That will be helpful.
So this was today's message. Mnemosyne at basically I run this on my DigitalOcean server every day at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So Mnemosyne, what was trending on this day, and then there is the message, and the method by which it decides that which was the most trending message is the number of reactions it got. And after a few feedbacks, I have removed reactions such as birthday emoji and all to make it more authentic.
Yeah.
So there have been messages which have gathered a lot of responses and started a conversation between members.
Interesting.
So this is the entire project.
Can you show some examples of conversation which started?
Yes,
It has.
right. Just a second. This is the thing. So basically what used to happen is that before a few days back, I corrected the application. Before that, what it used to do is it used to post, suppose this thing, what is this? Just a second. Okay, this all. So this is one of, okay, basically this was the bug actually. So what Mnemosyne did is that it posted its own message, which has the highest reaction for the last month. So on 23rd of September, it posted the message it did on 23rd of August, which got the highest number of reactions. So I corrected it, and mostly people react on Mnemosyne messages. There were few conversations as far as I remember. So this was Naresh. Okay, so this message got posted 18th, and like after around 2 or 3 months, Naresh wrote a message on the COS Slack channel for the first time. Is Naresh with us? Yes, he's there. That's it. I guess mostly the reactions are mostly Mnemosyne gets reactions.
Okay. I think it can be interesting.
Like I have got feedback from people to improve it and all. Like basically, reactions is not the best way to judge the trend, like the level of trend of a message, right?
I guess.
So like this is one message which got a few, which started a little small conversation, and then like this conversation is continued entire way till here. This till here. That's it.
Cool.
The entire idea was of Himanshu. I just did I am doing the implementation part, and further, like he just said, like let's create something like this, which posts messages from past, which has lots of reaction, so we can relive those moments. And I'm just doing the implementation part. So questions?
Okay, I'm not sure. Like, do we do the questions now, or do we take questions at the end of like?
I guess we do the questions at the end of each demo.
Okay. I don't have any particular questions. Honestly, I think it can be a
Vikrant?
cool thing. Yeah.
Vikrant, Naresh, are you there?
Hey, yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Hi.
I'm wondering what else you can use to judge the relevance of a message.
Yeah, like Pranit suggested me that I should use some NLP, but I am not able to find any way using NLP to judge the trendiness of a message, right? Like I can use it to filter some messages which are not important. Like suppose what happens in the channel that if it's suppose has won in a competition, okay, so one is like all the best, then people react with thumbs up. So using NLP or some other way, I can filter those messages, right? But I can't judge if a message should be included or not.
You can have
Right.
length
Conclusion is-
filters.
Can you not
Huh?
use the number of or the length of the thread for that message?
Length of the see there. I guess there are two problems. Firstly, thread. Like suppose there is some serious conversation going. Okay, like suppose there is a cause event or any event in any channel. So that would obviously have a longer thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but it might not be the most. It might not be a moment everybody would like to see.
I see.
Okay, and secondly, threads. I don't think in the Slack API I get to know how many replies were to the message, and most of the times it is not always that people reply to the message. They create a new message as well in the
Yeah.
conversation.
So another way to approach this is you could look at the archives manually and like over the last year or something, and then try to identify which messages would have been the most optimal to show, like just by your judgment. And then try to figure out like what's common about those messages. Like that's
You mean
like the other direction
You
too.
mean training some model, something like that?
Yeah,
Like
I mean you
I've
don't have to.
suppose-
I mean you don't have to train a ML model. First, you can train your own model, like your own mental model of
Yeah,
what
right,
makes
right.
this.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like first I should define myself like this. These things make a message trending. Like this is
Right.
something I would like to see again in the channel.
Yeah.
And then on that try to like code it in the program, you mean?
Right. Exactly.
Rather than trending, I would say interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, like some jokes on something which we would like to see again, right?
Yeah.
Like some moments from last, suppose some in the cause channel one would love to see some moments, some funny moments from last year Kharagpur Winter of Code. So that would be a nice thing to bring again.
Right.
But that I think is a like really far-fetched goal. Firstly, I am trying to make this application available publicly to all the Slack channels. So for that, I have, as I told, I've created the front end and the back end. All the work that is remaining is making it like hosting it on a HTTPS server and combining the back end and the front end.
Why does it need a front end? What's on the front end?
So basically what happens is I should have an URL. So it's not basically front end, just that I should have a simple page which says, which has the button add to Slack.
Mhm.
It redirects the user to the Slack authentication page where he gives the permission. And from
see.
there, Slack sends me a JSON response, which I have to send back. And then it sends me an authentication response.
So
So
can
for
you not
all
make
that,
this into like a Slack bot that somebody can just go to their Slack and sort of configure the bot, or like in the Slack settings?
Yeah, I am trying to do that. Like, do you mean by slash commands and all?
Yeah. So like something like if you invite this bot to join your channel, then it will start doing this thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Basically, after I have made it this publicly available, I can implement slash commands. So suppose
see.
someone says slash Mnemosign post. So at that time, he can manually post like activate Mnemosign.
Okay.
can you configure the time? Like, so you said like it will show last month's post or last year's post, right?
First, it
Like,
will try to fetch last year post.
okay,
But if the channel, suppose cost channel is like they haven't been active last year, right? So I might not find a post for say 5th of
Okay.
October. So I'll search in the past 6 months.
okay. And for MetaKGB, it can be 3 years old, right?
Yeah, right. Like for MetaKGP, like I searched till last 6 year old and
Okay.
then last 6 months old.
Okay.
If in the past 6 years, nothing is available.
So are you searching in this? How are you searching? Is there an
There's
API?
yeah, there's a Slack endpoint, API endpoint, which gives you
And
the messages.
does it give you conversation history, like the full conversation history, basically, or does it only limit you to the last 10,000 messages?
10,000 messages. Yeah, that's because that is all Slack saves in its database.
But when you download the archive,
I think
it's
I think right. It's actually saving everything, but it's just showing you 10,000 to try and
Okay,
get
then
you to
maybe
upload.
I'll try it. Like I'll try on the MetaKGP channel and see if it gives me past beyond like before 10,000 messages as well. Because I don't
Yeah.
think there should be such a limit on the API endpoint.
Yeah, maybe. I know when you search for a message in Slack, you can't see
Yeah, like
results.
when you
that are-
search in the web app, it doesn't
Yeah.
show before 10
Right.
years, before
Right.
10,000 messages.
but you can
So,
download
like,
the archive and search manually, like write your
yeah,
own
that's
search.
like a potential
The
extension.
the problem, I tried that. Like basically, Himanshu suggested doing that only, but the problem with it was that it was just too much time consuming. Okay, every time, firstly, someone has to give me the admin access to get the archive. Okay, so firstly, I cannot make it public. Secondly, it is a 10 to 15 minute process to just get the archive. Then I have to download it, then search it manually. Basically, it's just too much load, and there's
Yeah.
no endpoint for downloading the archive directly. So I'll have to just program a browser for that.
Okay. Or you might integrate with these services called Slack Archive, etc., which does archive the Slack channel uh, and provides a history. Some you can manually configure them. Like a lot of channels have done that. Like MetaKG, you also tried it with MetaKG. I don't know what happened.
So, like, potentially a different way of doing this is like if your bot is just listening to a channel, it can keep picking out what are the interesting messages right now and saving them to a database. And then years later, it can retrieve that. So,
Yeah, that is
You're-
also
yeah.
what
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, that is a very good solution indeed, but it has scalability problems. Like suppose for cost channel, I monitor every channel every day and store all the messages. Say
Oh, you don't have to
For-
store all of them. You can just detect the most interesting messages out of whatever is being posted
but
right
how
now.
do I judge in real time if a message is interesting or not? Like
But you
I
have some window, like you have a 10,000 message window. So that window will last for. I mean, in any case, like if the message goes out of the window, you can't retrieve it from the search result anyway.
so you mean I also delete messages once they go beyond 10,000?
No, what I mean is like your candidate set is the oldest 1,000 messages out of 10,000, out of the most recent 10,000. So if a message is just posted, it's not in the candidate set, but as new messages start getting posted,
All right.
and it reaches
You mean
this
if
1,000.
okay, right.
Yeah.
That is a solution, but again, I feel it will have some sort of scalability problem because once a lot of channels, suppose in future of a number of channels start installing this, so I'll have to get all that space on the server, right, to store all
Yeah.
of it. Currently,
Yeah,
I
you'll have to store all the messages that you want to save that are interesting. Yeah.
exactly. So that will require resources from my side.
Then you can start a paid service for this.
And that is also there. Currently also I'll have to start a paid service.
Who?
But because I need an HTTPS server. Otherwise, Slack won't make it publicly available.
Can you use
So
Heroku? Does Heroku
bas-
use HTTPS?
no,
Not
I
sure.
can't use Heroku.
Okay.
And like they said that self-signed certificates won't work.
What are you using for HTTPS?
So what I'm thinking is that I have a DigitalOcean account. So I'll I'll buy a domain and then route it to my DigitalOcean server. Like I'm yet to learn all this process.
Okay, but just for HTTPS, you can get a free SSL certificate signed by Let's Encrypt. So you can just Google that. So you shouldn't have to pay for HTTPS.
Okay, that's relieving.
But you will have to pay for the domain if you want
Yeah,
to. do it.
domain, like I will have to pay for the domain. I'm not sure how can I route from directly to my DigitalOcean without a domain. I don't think that is possible.
You can use HTTPS with an IP address. Can you?
The problem is Slack will not accept it.
No, maybe you can't.
Yeah, I don't think HTTPS you can directly put IP address.
Possibly.
Why
Probably because the certificate needs to have the domain on it.
Yeah, and secondly, IP address is like direct connection, right?
No,
So
IP
there's
address is
no-
not direct connection.
IP
IP
address
address
is
is just a different way, just a different address for routing.
Like IP address won't need to go to the DNS server and all, right?
That's correct. Yeah, it doesn't use DNS.
So how will they verify if the certificate is authentic or not?
So the main thing with the certificate is that when your browser makes the connection, so the browser's already made the connection, whether or not it's routing through DNS, and now the server will like claim that it's belongs to this identity or whatever. Usually the claim is in terms of the domain, but it can also be in terms of the IP.
Okay.
And the browser will look in its certificate store to figure out if this claim can be verified. And so usually the certificate store is based on domains, but I think it need not be. I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay, I'll look into that part once I'm
Yeah.
on that front.
Anyway, yeah, this was really interesting though. Thanks for the demo.
So next is Ayush, I guess. Naresh, any questions?
नहीं ब्रो ये ठीक है
Next up,
So I'm getting kicked out of this room, so I'm just going to come back.
Mute कर लो अपने आप को नरेश, please.
Yes.
Ayush, let's go with Ayush.
Hey.
Yeah, Kronos. This one.
By the way, nice beard, Vikrant.
Thanks.
Wait, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is called Kronos. So this is meant to serve the okay, so Wiki gives us previous year's grade distribution, but just only for the last 1 year, last of one semester. So this is supposed to keep record like throughout. Like what happens in Wiki is that it just overrides the data. This is supposed to store the data, and then it has been deployed to on Heroku. So you can just send a request over there, and okay, it's not working. It's slow. Okay, yeah, it works. So here, the you enter the course. Okay, you can even search the course, like mechanics or like uh, signals and networks here. So yeah, signals and networks, and then submit.
Not signals and networks.
And this gives us the like history of the grade distribution, like how it varies through the years and through the semesters. So, like say in 2018, we had 17 people who got EX, and in 2017 spring 13 got EX. So we can also like compare between any two semester grades that we want to. And yeah, so yeah, that I think is pretty much it. So the biggest problem, like which I am trying to tackle now, is that this feature is not supported on mobile for some reason. So I'm just trying to tackle that. So I used Plotly. So so in that like it's much better support on mobile. And yeah, otherwise using Chart.js also I have had some success.
Okay.
Yeah, I think pretty much it.
Awesome. Questions?
Yeah, questions.
How was the response to this? You,
Yeah.
how was the response to this?
Response, actually this hasn't been shared
Oh.
from the Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually I was working on tackling this problem that it did not support this was not supported on mobile browsers. So now I think it's almost resolved.
Okay.
So soon we'll be sharing the post regarding this. And yeah, I also have to add the Google Analytics to this.
Christian.
Yeah, so the variation is pretty interesting. Have you tried doing anything like seeing for which course the variation between years is largest?
Yeah, but I don't remember. I've searched it so many times in so many different courses while I was
Yeah.
working on. I don't actually remember. Like one in particular, I want to share. It's for manufacturing processes.
Mhm.
Is what is expected. It's much better if you view it on Plotly.
Okay, we can't see your screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so this is for manufacturing processes.
Wow,
And
this almost looks like they're
and this is
making
like
grades
libraries.
deliberately to follow this distribution. Hello?
Yeah.
No, I was just saying it looks like they're deliberately making grades follow this distribution.
Yeah, like, but for most of the other courses, we do see a lot of variation.
Hmm.
Like, especially for algo, we saw. Okay, let me show you the grade distribution for algo.
So if I'm a a student looking at this, what should I do with this information?
So yeah, one thing like where this will be useful is that usually the professors for a particular course they switch like after every semester or something. So this will help them get a rough idea of the distribution with regards to the professor. So like one thing I can do is that I can also have a track of professor taking the course. So then this will be more relevant.
It would be interesting to see grade distribution for a professor across all of his courses.
Yeah, that's also a nice feature.
And
Yeah,
grade distributions across departments also. Right.
Yeah.
So you know if like a particular department actually fails a lot of students or something.
Yeah, I mean the generalizable way to do this is like you have a bunch of parameters on the side and you can like click whichever ones you're interested in and it shows you correlations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another interesting thing to verify will be like if people actually fail students in last semesters, or like are they more likely to fail students in like third, fourth semester or what? Because like
I mean there are definitely some profs who will do that. I can attest to that.
So I know people who like have passed with 2 marks in like final semester.
Yeah.
So that can be interesting things to do, like just to see like how things are going.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think like this is really interesting, and the expansion of this to allow people to pick the parameters they're interested in and generate the plots themselves is going to be like even more fascinating, I think, because then people will have their own hypotheses and they can just sort of explore the data.
Yeah. Anything else? Any questions?
How come the grade distribution is only for the last 4 years or something?
Yeah, because a lot of most of the data that I got from is from the Blackjack bot. Like the bot is supposed to put up the grades on Wiki, so I just looked it up on GitHub and how the bot was like filed at different stages, like after different commits, after different versions. So I got most of my data from that, and I also ran Blackjack bot like this June or July itself. So I got 2018 spring data through ERP.
Nice.
Yeah.
One thing that'd be nice to do is if you run it and you've got the JSON, just like upload the JSON on the Blackjack repo or something if it's not there.
Yeah.
So we just have a repository of data.
Okay.
Just expose it to people like you. They can
Yeah.
do whatever, like go wild.
Harsh, man.
Go wild.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You should definitely release it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So next up we have got Navneet, and he Vim.
Awesome.
Hi, Vikrant.
Hey.
Today I was MOE game which I developed recently. I shared on the Slack channel.
I'm not able to hear you properly. Can you speak closer to mic?
Hello? Audible?
Yes.
I'm going to demo Vim which I developed recently. I shared it on the Slack channel, MetaX.
Okay.
Kshitij? Sorry.
Yep, that's it. So when you search for a professor, like arrow keys. Its timetable will be shown, and you can go to its website URL, and that's it. I developed this thing for actually meeting professors regarding the discussions for BTP projects, room bookings, etc. So I have difficulties in meeting them. I have almost waited 2.5 hours or something for a professor in his office. He wasn't there, and I end up developing this thing.
Nice. Did you develop it while you were waiting in his office?
No. I got motivation to develop from that.
But that you should tell this story. It's more interesting.
Okay. So in summers, what I was doing. Do you want the entire summer vacation story? Hello?
No, sorry. What I was saying was you should tell people that you developed it while waiting for the prof, because that's more interesting.
Okay. So in summers, I ended up learning deep learning, and I really wanted to meet my prof. To do a research project under him. So through course, we were interacting among the peers. I got Sankeet as my mentor, and I asked him, he has done a project before, so he told me that there is nothing to know the timetable of a professor. You have to go to the department and check the notice board. I talked to my friend. He showed the trick that you can go to the ERP and check the department timetable, and you can compare the slot with the hard-coded PDF file. So for chill zone, Siddharth has decoded that slot versus timetable thing. I just have to use the table and just extract the necessary data. Initially, I faced difficulties in losing various huge amount of data. ERP has no uniform data, so I have to cross-check manually through all the professors, which took a lot of time for me. Now it has, developed by a lot of guys: Aditya, Siddharth, Shivam, Ayush, and someone else. It recently has got Python 3 support. I recently added URL for the professor's website and rectified the JSON dataset, and that's it.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Thanks.
So this data is basically on department websites, right? Is that correct?
No.
Or is it from ERP?
I can show you the data.
Sorry?
I can show you the data from ERP. There is a table. In the timetable tab, there is a subject list with timetable slots. You can get the department wise. So here we can see that subject name, faculty name, and slot room. Here I only need this thing, faculty name and room. Here, unfortunately, room numbers are written as 0, which I approximated as department.
Okay.
0 is indicating department rooms.
Okay. And
Can
are there
show you an
non-zero rooms?
yeah, there are.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Have you released it yet?
Yeah, it's deployed.
And like, what kind of traffic are you getting?
Yep. I can show you that.
Also, did anyone give you feedback about it? Like, what are people saying about it?
Got a positive feedback from many of the people I know.
Mhm.
This is the top. This is visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
scroll
that's
down.
pretty interesting. So, like, about 100 people use it every month.
Here we have this may be people using VPNs or something, maybe alumni. Also, we have redirects from MFTP.
Okay. MFTP.
MCMP.
Oh, sorry, MCMP. My bad. This thing is redirected from MCMP.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, so people are also using MCMP.
Yeah. Recently, Siddhartha has added this issue to MCMP.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it looks like about 600 page views in the last 28 days.
Yep.
Not counting the redirects.
I actually I was too late to add this analytic thing to the website. I wasn't aware of. So it has got more than this, I guess. Most people are using it from Facebook or
Yeah.
even the GitHub repo has got almost 1K plus hits, I guess, recently.
How are you tracking GitHub repo hits?
Yep.
There is insights in GitHub repo, right?
Oh, I see.
Oh,
There are
okay.
insights.
This is the GitHub repo for that.
okay.
This is a pretty cool story which I have written.
Yeah.
This picture.
Like
this
I like
small-
this. I like this
this
trend
small
of
guy-
adding stories to repos. I think Siddharth started this, right? This trend of adding stories, or did somebody else start it?
I also saw like Himanshu adding this Ritvik Raj story to something. I don't know what is it.
Nishant has started this, I guess. Nishant. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a good trade.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, are you thinking of adding any new features to WIMP?
Recently, it has issues opened by Aditya and we were thinking to switch to fuzzy search. Currently, it is using the exact search thing.
Yeah.
I use the data list, which is a HTML5 feature, which is not supporting in Safari.
Hmm.
So we'll be
Do you
using.
know who this person is? Chat Pine.
Chat point. I don't know. I, I added that Hacktoberfest. Yes, he go.
He seems to be in France.
Yeah.
but
interesting.
but clearly they like understood the issue, because what they said makes sense. So it's not just a random bot.
Uh-huh.
That's weird.
Notice this
Can I
thing.
change the UI to be more like MFQP? They're aware of what you are doing. It's tacky, right? Wacky.
It's so random. Either that or it's a very, very good bot.
It has got some 35 stars or something.
Yeah. Nice.
We have some Tokyo people here.
Random people.
I know this guy. Like, so he was he's friend of Rohan Sharan, and like he was in KGP, like doing a semester exchange.
We
Oh,
have
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
They might be like foreign exchange students.
maybe from your followers list or something.
Yeah, so he went back to Tokyo, I guess now. Like, but he was in KGP.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you shown this to any profs?
I haven't actually.
Okay. Because I'm wondering how you're going to explain the name to them.
I needed a four-letter word which could
Arey,
actually.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, one more demo.
Wait. So, were people also asking for crowdsourcing the timetable and all?
There were people asking for crowdsourcing.
So, have you thought about that?
Yeah, we are crowdsourcing right now.
How?
Like we shared a Google form.
Okay.
Till now we got, I guess, 2 responses.
So, do you manually put things from Google Form in the data?
It resulted as a bug. Like I was using multi-threading, so some of the data of the profs got overwritten.
Okay.
Like if a prof is teaching in multiple departments,
Yeah.
only one of the timetable belongs to him was wrong. So I just replaced this multi-threading by nothing. Now it's working fine now. We have all the data which is present in ERP.
No, but the profs sometimes also schedule classes out of order and like they change schedules like because to more convenient, right? So, crowdsourcing by itself can be valuable.
Yeah, that is a possibility.
I was just curious if like you have been thinking about it or like is this on
Yeah,
the list?
I'm
Okay.
constantly looking to the responses of that Google Sheet.
So do you put things manually from the Google Sheet or do you have some like scripts to do that?
I haven't written it.
Okay.
I think if people are writing or taking this thing seriously, I'll be writing a script for that.
Oh, I feel another way to go about this can be like the wiki itself. Like, so you can put the timetable of the prof on the wiki and someone can edit it, and then legally you can subscribe to that.
It will
Because we
cost-
have pages for profs already, so you can have another like section in the page for their like schedule and all.
another
So
workspace or something like timetable.
Yeah, and like we saw that some professors are actually like editing their page. Like I assume they're
I've seen that.
so like I guess they will also find it like easy to make students aware when they can like visit them and when they cannot, and when they are like totally busy.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. Like you incentivize profs to edit their own page and keep their timetable up to date.
Yep. That is possible through crowdsourcing.
No, crowdsourcing by the professors themselves, not just the students.
Yes, yes. We are collecting the email IDs of people who are sending the responses. So we can get the owner of the.
I think you should go and talk to your profs, like just show them this is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you should definitely show profs this thing. I don't know about the naming, but
He will
figure
just
something
say,
out about
where
that.
is my prof now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but come on, profs are they're not like completely stupid.
Now it has a problem like if a subject is taught by 4 profs and four rooms will be allotted. So if you check the timetable, I can show you that.
Okay. If this is like a specific issue, then I think this is not the right time to discuss a specific issue. But if it's like a general idea, then we can talk about it.
What I was saying is, if a subject is taught by 4 profs, there will be 4 rooms allocated. So 4 rooms will be shown in its load as per the data in ERP. So the probability of finding that prof will be 1/4. Are you getting that? No?
It sounds like what you're saying is at a given time, a prof can be in 4 places at the same time or something.
Yes, that's
Okay.
looking forward to. Currently, the data in ERP is like that. We cannot access more than that.
Okay. I mean, still, like 4 places is better than not knowing at all.
So that's
Still
it.
pretty good.
That I want to do.
Nice. Thanks.
Cool. Next up, we've got Report, who's joining us.
I created this project called as Group. Basically, in my first year, I
Can you be a little louder? Can you come closer to the laptop?
Yeah, sure. So in my first year, I created this website. So they added some captcha and stuff, and after a few while, I thought there might be some issue with it. I thought there might be some vulnerability in there as well. So what I did, I just went through the source code of the parents portal, and I found out that the captcha is practically bullshit. Like you can just bypass the captcha by just copying the source code and shit. It was like pure bullshit. If I can show you,
I'm sorry, which captcha are you trying to bypass?
the parents portal one. There's a parents portal and there's a captcha in there.
Okay. Oh.
Just tell you the link. This one. No, man, I got it. So the captcha, this captcha here is practically what do you view source? View source. View source. I'm sorry, I actually have more comfortable viewing the source. Actually, I don't get it. So when we go over here, you see, on submit form, what they do is they just pass the captcha value through an AJAX. Oh yeah. they pass through Ajax value through an Ajax, and if the value is submitted right, then only the roll number and password are carried forward. So what I basically did was, just to check, I just copied the whole view source. I removed this function, and then I sent the request, and it practically. So then I wrote a small script. I wrote a small script basically which takes a roll number and then brute forces the date of birth. This is the date of birth, and that's how the groove was born, I guess. I brute forced like a couple of departments, and I have like the whole third year's data with me. Third years, I have whole second year's data, I guess, and few of fourth and fifth years. This is the first part. Then
Sorry,
I thought that
what data is this?
their names, their roll numbers, and their date of birth. That's basically the two information you need to access anyone's records. Are you need the name and the roll numbers. Sorry, roll number.
No, I mean, when you know the roll number and the date of birth, you know their what grades?
No. So what I did was, and then I brute force the date of birth, and after doing that, I just saved the data with me.
So how much time did it take for you to collect all the data?
I did it on a single thread. If I had multiple thread, I could have got the whole data within a day.
No, sorry, but like what did you get? Like, it sounds like you got people's name. You brute force the date of birth, but then like, what did you get out of that?
Once you get the roll number and date of birth, you can just once you get the roll number and date of birth, you can just log in into the, so you can get their CGPAs and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, you get the CGPA.
Yeah, I just stored that data with me. Basically, have it over here.
New generation's rediscovering what we knew already.
This is can you even see it?
I think you can.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I believe that you have the data.
So like once like in my first release, like which had people's grades like the subject before the actual ERP started. So I think we can just replicate that whole thing. Like if you have everyone's roll numbers and date of birth, you can get grades, I guess.
What do you want to do with that data? Like, just curious if you have
Actually, nothing much. I just wanted to exploit the vulnerability which I found.
Okay. So, I think
I
around,
found
like... Sorry, go ahead.
I found a couple of other vulnerabilities in ERP as well. So like CDC, so I was setting CDC internships this year. So the thing is, you're limited companies which have opened for you, but CDC has, and those have started the CV submissions. But there was another link which I found, which in case you just change a simple ID and you can get the data of all the companies that are going to visit as well. Like those are registered with the CDC.
Okay.
And the departments they'll be accepted.
Video public.
Yeah.
Pardon me? Couldn't hear you.
Sorry, guys, can you repeat?
No, you said like we should not make this video public.
It's already public.
Oh, yes. You can delete. Okay, cool. Like, anyway. Okay.
Also, the so I shouldn't do this publicly, should I? Also, I can access anyone's CV which they have uploaded on ERP.
Now,
So that's a lot of information.
This is going right for a public video.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have disclosed this vulnerabilities to ERP
Is
and
this open source?
yeah,
No.
it's open source.
Have you told them?
You told them?
Yeah, I have told them and they don't seem to care much about it, honestly. Because when I told them, they apparently knew it from before. There's also a very highly vulnerable SQL injection as well.
ERP does every security on client side, which means nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the ERP developers read a book about how security vulnerabilities and how to avoid them. and implemented every single vulnerability they could find.
So that's what my project was about. So for getting the CV, there was initially a link that was forwarded to me by a friend. So whenever you click on View CV, it used to generate the CV generate. They fixed that issue, but another issue which they went fix was after you apply to a company, there's this thing at View Applied CV. So what they use is a simple, basically what the PDF is actually stored on the directory, and you can access the directory directly. So there's a possible local file inclusion in there as well. I haven't exploited it, but it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So yeah, I guess I mean so I'm trying to think of like what questions are relevant here.
issues.
I don't know, mostly for stalking, I guess. But yeah, if you can look at the CV, it helps you building yours. So there's one help there. No, I haven't really. Just the code.
And using the same code, we can get data like that.
Yeah, I have shared, but I have disclosed the vulnerabilities to ERP, so I've done my part.
So what did they say exactly?
So when I went to the guy, he said like, yeah, we know about this, we are trying to fix it. The skill thing injection which was there, it's there from my first year onwards, so that's like from 2 years onwards, and they still haven't fixed it, but they know about it.
They're trying to fix it.
Yeah, they're trying to fix it, and the CAPTCHA one which I told them, apparently they were trying, the only reply what I got from them was they were trying to implement an OTP system, but since they couldn't implement an OTP system because not everyone has phones, so they implemented a fucked up CAPTCHA.
Not everyone has phone. Very nice.
Yeah, literally that was the answer I got from them.
That's weird. I'm guessing even if they did OTP, they would do the same thing.
I reported them.
Hard code the OTP part.
Yeah.
In the source code.
Yeah. So I mean, like the fact that they're saying they considered OTP and then went to CAPTCHA means they don't understand the problem. Okay. Yeah, that's just weird. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there are any like ethical things you can do with this. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that like basically like some of us who know how to program and stuff, like we can find out these things, and then the rest of the people on campus don't know. So that's like pretty bad.
But fortunate for the ERP team.
Yeah. Cool.
Do we have any more demos?
Yeah. So should be in. Harsh is back, I think. Harsh.
Hey, sorry.
Right. You got Harsh back.
What were you discussing just now? I'm sorry.
So basically, I found some vulnerabilities in ERP, and
that I know after that, like when I went off.
No, so basically, I was just telling that I reported them to ERP, and they didn't care much about it, as far as I heard.
Which is not unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I told them about and also the whole thing which I've written is a weird JavaScript. So like, I was learning Burp Suite. That's when I found out this stuff. Burp Suite. It's basically like a proxy with some additional tools in it.
Okay.
So you can access every request that is going from your browser and stuff.
Okay.
So that was when I found the few links, and that's when I found it. And I viewed the sources of some other pages as well. Basically, you can actually, like, if someone has been someone has got an offer, you can actually accept and reject it with just by accessing a link.
Whoa.
Yeah, I give them this information as well. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, okay, it's great you let them know.
Yeah, I did let them know about it because I don't know, like,
So, did you actually go and meet them? Like, maybe you can, if you are feeling adventurous, you
yeah,
can like,
I personally went and met them.
okay, who did you meet?
I forgot the guy's name. I
Alokesh, is it?
No, it wasn't Alokesh. Just a second, it's in my mail. I forgot the guy's name.
Public already. Well, it depends on how much you care about getting these things fixed. So,
Yeah, they didn't care much.
no, I mean,
I mean,
how much
the
you
other
care about.
alternative to getting them fixed is to make them common knowledge.
Yeah,
Parimal Santra.
like shaming basically, put it out
The guy's
there.
name was Parimal Santra.
Huh?
Parimal Santra. The
Oh,
guy who pulled this stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few different alternatives. Like, if you're feeling adventurous, and like, I'm going to assume that just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that you did it. But like one example, like if you really wanted to get it fixed, is basically like make a demo video,
Okay.
like showing all the exploits in like a
Okay.
10-minute video, and like showing things like accepting, rejecting offers, seeing people's CVs, etc. Make a video so it's like clear that you can do it, and then send it to like Dyro.
No, I personally went and showed the guy the whole thing.
no, but
No,
like,
send it to the director.
Oh,
yeah.
won't that land me in
Uh,
trouble by any chance?
Yeah, that's why I'm assuming that you didn't do it.
Yeah, that's the main reason I didn't do it.
No. What I'm saying is like even if someone were to do it anonymously in the future, I'm pretty sure it's not you.
Okay. Yeah, I see the point.
Yeah,
Any
but that's
other-
like if someone wanted to fix it, basically. I think that's the way to do it.
I actually offered them if they gave. I didn't even want any money or anything in return. I just wanted to fix it. So that's what I told the guy. Like if I can do some project under him or anything, he said like he'll have to talk to the ERP chairman, and the ERP chairman apparently never responded back.
I think
Yeah,
like,
I think that's a wrong level of bureaucracy to interact with.
Yeah,
You're never going to get anything done if you interact at that level.
yeah.
writing to Dyro might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or yes.
Director.
Yeah, I mean, if the director also like ignores it or doesn't respond, then I don't think there's much you can do after that.
Point.
I don't think he will do that.
He might.
Yeah, I mean, I think the basic point is like very simple. Like, if you're responsibly disclosing it, that's obviously good for them.
Yeah.
But clearly, there can be other people who find this out and then exploit it,
Exactly.
and that'll be bad for everyone. So it needs to be fixed.
Also, like, if you take it to ERP, like, you are just creating more work for them. And
Yeah, exactly.
so, like, then they don't want to do more work. Anyone don't want to do more work. So, they're like
Yeah.
just doing what's most convenient for them. But if someone, like, above them, like, tells them, like, this is fucked up, like, fix it. So, then things are different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, creating a video might be a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I guess I'll make one.
But I want to say be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know what you should be careful about.
I mean, I think like making the point that you're doing responsible disclosure. Like, don't send the video out publicly. Basically, if you make
Yeah,
a video.
obviously. Oh, yeah.
But if you tell the Dyro like I'm only showing this to you, but I want you to
Yeah,
see the
content.
magnitude.
Yeah.
Also, they are very like sensitive to public shaming or like their reputation.
Yeah.
So rather too sensitive to that. Like, so rather avoid going in that direction.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting. Tell us what you end up doing.
Yes. And think like, good luck.
Be safe.
Because like, the things you're talking about, like, I guess pretty much every generation knew. But like not a public knowledge, but like some people somewhere in every batch, I guess, like discovered these things, but like they didn't actually took it to the level where something can be done about it. So if you're doing it, like that will be awesome.
Initially, the first one to access anyone's record was actually even more stupid. All you had to do was just put in the roll number to get their records.
But the security model is broken, so like.
Yeah,
And basically, like if
the worst part was that this part was like put it into a comment into the view source part.
yeah, I mean it's really weird because I don't think KGP even needs to like pay anyone to do it. Like I think volunteer students will literally fix all these problems really quickly.
Yeah.
So they're just not using a big resource that's at their disposal.
Yeah.
But about CDC specifically, like I've heard that they don't want students because like they fear that they might mess things up or like they might use it for their advantage in some way or other. Like,
yeah. I mean, this
But
way is
like-
definitely worse.
yeah, that's true. They need to fire their consultants.
Cool.
So I think that those are all the demos for today. It's got 4
Nice.
people.
Nice.
Right.
What? How come there is like a 50% dropout rate from the 8
Right.
people who signed up?
Actually, so the thing was that Ayush didn't register on the form. So there were registrations and only 4 showed up.
Okay.
So I think we can discuss this later. Basically, the people who didn't show up, they have never met us. They haven't been here before. No?
Right.
So they were shy.
Yeah. So apart from him, other guys, they have not joined us. So I think there's some issue. We need to solve this problem basically. Why are they not showing up even after registration? I think we discussed this in demo day 3. I think about what should we do about
Yeah.
mailing them and calling them. So I think we'll have to discuss this on Slack channel.
Sure.
I think
Okay.
it's
What's the demo day number?
8. Right.
Ah,
Nice.
Cool. So let's set the wheel.
Yeah, I think Harsh is doing it.
yes.
Start.
Okay. What's the link?
Random something picker. I think.
Name pick a wheel. Name pick a wheel.
Okay.
Picker wheel.
Just search it.
There's a price?
Right.
I didn't know.
Let me share my screen.
And Ayush is suggesting that Shivam should not get this.
Kuch bhi.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
How do I change the names?
You just like start it and then you will get the option in settings in the corner.
Where?
I'm not able to see your screen.
Oh. I've shared my screen. What do you see?
Right. Yeah.
I can see only Ayush, Navneet and Kshitij.
Because
Can-
yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. But now again Ayush is there.
Go to randomnamepicker.net.
Okay.
That one doesn't have like spam.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, there's a spin wheel on the top. Yeah.
How do I change the names?
Name sets. Yeah.
We have Ayush, Navneet,
Shivam,
Yeah.
Shivam, and
Vipul.
say that again.
Vipul.
Vipul, VIPOL.
Arey, everyone mute your camera except hers. Mute your microphones.
Hey, wait, like, save and close.
This is fine.
Why don't I see the names?
It's weird.
Wait, you didn't change, like, I guess.
Oh, you have to
Didn't
click
choose the
reset
right
names, I think. Click reset names.
Okay.
It's a weird.
Oh, yeah.
Oof,
Yeah.
tense mahal.
Hey, Ayush, congratulations.
Yay.
Is it Ayush?
Yes, it's Ayush.
Harsh, can you switch your screen? Ayush.
Yes.
Bro. Ayush is so happy. Right.
Top
All
share.
right.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah,
Awesome
thank you.
demos.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.